It is really my great honor to welcome you to the IUCN World Parks Congress 2014.
Good morning, bonjour, buenos dias, or good day, as they say here in Australia. It's not often that things happen only once a decade. Days are not privileged to go amongst so many different cultures and people representing different countries, and for very happy to be here.
We've got more than 5,000 people, all of whom could actually act in their own right and do something really interesting and powerful to think differently as business leaders, and therefore it's important to be at a conference like this, but also to help provide solutions to problems that we've partially created.
And I do look forward to meeting with President Tom in a few hours to sign a historic agreement on the management of those oceans.
And yes, we can be conscious about how we impact the planet that we live in and the various species that cannot speak and cannot hold conversations. We can have a future of hope. It is up to us to decide what that future is.
It means a hell of a lot to them to be recognised in front of such a big conservation audience.
Help the world to dream, so that our life will also dream.
Thank you, Sydney. We've had a blast.
Hello and welcome. My name is Jessica Watson and I will be your MC for this, the closing ceremony of the 2014 IUCN World Parks Congress. Can I please begin by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today and pay my respects to elders past and the many present in the room today. I hope you've all enjoyed the Congress as much as I have. The video that we've just seen gave us a small sample of everything that we've experienced over the last week here at Sydney Olympic Park and at many other locations across Sydney. Personally, I've been awed at the calibre of speakers that we've been lucky enough to have at the Congress, many of whom have travelled from around the world to be here. I've also loved being involved in the many side debates and discussions. It's been an amazing opportunity to meet like-minded people from all around the world who are committed to protecting our most precious places. I'm sure many of you feel, as I do, a little exhausted from everything that we've learned, but inspired and invigorated to take our conservation messages back out to the world. Can I please now make welcome to the stage to share their reflections on the Congress, the Director General of the IUCN, Ms. Julia Martin-Lefebvre, and the Chair of the IUCN Commission on Protected Areas, Ernesto Alcalin.
Thank you, Jessica. I think you may be a little tired of seeing me. So, this has truly been a very rich 8 days. We have, I believe, put nature and the way we look after her through protected areas at the very center of our care, our economies, and our well-being. Thank you. I think we also have shown that we're really cool after that rapper. So I thank each and every one of you for the experience, energy, and passion that you brought to Sydney, and your generosity in sharing all this with each other and with me. And I thank you most sincerely for your willingness to move beyond words to action. So, I'm quite happy that we did not negotiate every word and every comma in the promise of Sydney, but it does reflect fully the spirit of this meeting and guides us for the changes that we know we have to make and we will begin to make these immediately, maybe after one night of sleep. Let me just close by adding my own personal commitment as I get ready to become a private citizen after 8 years at the helm of IUCN, which has been an incredible privilege. So, thank you. So my commitment as a private citizen is to keep the spirit of IUCN's mission alive in my heart, in my mind, and in my actions, and to continue to strive for a more just and equitable world in which the role of nature is fully understood and appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, first, for those who know me, I need to take this off.
Let me hold it for you. Oh la la. This is very heavy.
Yes, we need to go back and work because all the great momentum that we have gained here is depending on us following through on it. It's been really fantastic. We have all seen and heard, and all the stream and team leaders received their very warm recognition. But in the end, this is the beginning and not the end of anything. So it's the beginning of the promise of Sydney that should take us beyond 10 years, maybe in the next 20, 25, and a few decades, as the promise of Sydney says. So it's really a great privilege to be part of this big family. I would also like, speaking of family, to thank all of our families who support us and make things worthwhile and are the reason for us, in many instances, being here, working for a better future for the world, for the species, a world that has enough space for all species, for all generations, and for all people. So, thank you. I would like to make a special thanks to my deputy chair, co-chair, Kathy McKinnon, for her great work. And I could go on and on, but I think the Pacific really was a great treat. Thanks for all the peoples of the Pacific who came on their boats and who really showed us their culture. And we have so many allies that it's impossible to mention them, but I would like to make a special mention because one of the big things that happened since Durban was a plan of work on protected areas. So the CBD has been instrumental. We need to be working very closely to the CBD, but we're going to go beyond the CBD into the Sustainable Development Goals because that's what the world needs and that's what we need to do. So thanks, CBD. And much has been already said about this thing being personal. So all change starts with individuals. And what we need to do when we go back is to make sure that we get other people involved. For each one of us here, there's probably several tens of people out there, back there, who can also be inspired and ignited by what was discussed here. So let's go back and take the good message. We're doing good, but we need to do much more. So thanks very much. Un abrazo grande para todos, para la familia latinoamericana en particular. Gracias.
And I'm going to give you this jacket.
Thank you. Co-hosting this amazing congress with the IUCN are both the Australian and New South Wales governments. From the Australian Government, please welcome the Minister for Environment, Greg Hunt.
Thank you, Jessica, and to Ernesto, I'm sorry, but I'm going to keep all my clothes on today. No, yes, you want that. To the champions of the oceans, to the champions of our parks, to the champions of our forests, and to the champions of the polar regions, I have two simple words. Thank you. Et merci beaucoup. And muchas gracias. Sheshe. And in whatever language, we thank you for your commitment to the great protected areas of this planet, and we thank you for your commitment to travel from across the world to the great city of Sydney and our home of Australia. You make us better with your presence. I also specifically want to thank, on behalf of all of the members and attendees at the Congress, the Parks Service of New South Wales and their volunteers and their members. You are absolute champions. To Sally Barnes, the head of the Australian Park Service, and all of her members and the volunteers from my own department of the environment, you make me proud. Thank you. But then to the IUCN and Julia Martin-Lefebvre. Julia, you and your team in Australian terms are bonza. You've done a great job, and thank you. But there's a special thank you, and that is to the front line, to the rangers about whom we've heard so much, of Gabon, of Namibia, of Botswana, of South Africa, and so many other countries, whether in North America or South America, Europe or Asia, Oceania, or wherever they may be in the world. You are the front line, and this Congress is about saying to you, we back you, we support you, we will be with you, and you are the people who protect the wildlife and the protected areas of the world. Lastly, on the promise of Sydney, look at yourselves and look around you. We have already made a difference. We are making a difference. But most importantly, when we leave Sydney and we return to our homes, our shared commitment is to continue to make more of a difference than ever in protecting the great protected areas of the world. I thank you. I honour you. You have done us a great service. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Now please welcome from the New South Wales Government, the Minister for Environment and Heritage, Rob Stokes.
Your Excellencies, Honourable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I too want to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and on which we have met over the past week, the Wongal and Barmadigal people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to their elders past and present, as well as extending those respects to other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's appropriate that we acknowledge that we are on Aboriginal land. It's appropriate that we do this because it's an appropriate recognition of the important role that we have focused on this week about the role of traditional owners in teaching us about how best to protect our protected areas and in including and connecting them better with the management of the areas that are so important to our conservation generally. Ladies and gentlemen, I, like Greg, want to thank all the wonderful men and women of the New South Wales National Parks and Wildlife Service, as well as the officers of the Office of Environment and Heritage in New South Wales, as well as the staff of Parks Australia and all the volunteers who have supported them. This week has gone so seamlessly and so successfully at an operational level because of their service and their diligence, and I want us to take a moment to thank them in the appropriate way. And also, like Greg, I wanted to thank you. I wanted to thank all of you. We were expecting 3,000 delegates, and we ended up with more than 6,000 delegates. Yeah. And on behalf of the New South Wales Government, I wanted to thank you for your contribution and also for your commitments. We've seen commitments not just in relation to the expansion of protected areas themselves, which in itself is of vital importance, but we've also seen commitments in relation to improved management of protected areas, which is equally important if we are to achieve our biodiversity objectives. And ladies and gentlemen, as we work together on not just crafting, but also delivering the promise of Sydney, it gives us an opportunity to consider what is important about our protected areas. It gives us a chance to consider not just should we make our acquisitions on the basis of developing a global network of protected areas that is comprehensive, that is adequate, and that is represented, and not only is connected, not just spatially, but also socially. We've reflected this week on the important role of connecting traditional owners and traditional wisdom with the management of our parks. But we also need to reflect on connecting other groups within our society, on connecting the young, because ultimately we are custodians of our protected areas on their behalf. It is imperative as part of our commitments that we focus on ways in which young people can contribute to the protection and management of their own inheritance. It's also important, ladies and gentlemen, that we connect not just at a spatial level, our parks, in the important principles of large landscape connectivity, but also connecting our parks and our communities socially. In too many areas, there have been examples of parks being and conservation outcomes resulting in conflict with community. Instead, we need to reshape the conversation about conservation. Instead, we need to talk about social connectivity as well, about those who are excluded from our parks, not by law, but by ignorance or by lack of opportunity, whether they be excluded due to challenges of disability, challenges of poverty, or challenges of lack of information. Our task and part of bringing forward the promise of Sydney and carrying it out is focusing on how we can connect our communities to conservation, because it's only through such connections that we can continue to build the social support to mainstream the focus on conservation that all of us want to see. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to conclude with the words of Aldo Leopold in the Sand County Almanac, an old text, but one that is as relevant today as when it was first written. I think it was first compiled in the same year as the IUCN itself was conceived in 1948. And to paraphrase from Aldo Leopold, when he noted that we abuse land when we conceive of it as a commodity belonging to us, it's only when we also conceive of land as a community to which we all belong that we are on the path to treating it with love and respect. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your contribution. We wish you a safe journey. I look forward to meeting you all at what will be a very large barbecue in a few minutes' time. Ladies and gentlemen, safe travels. Thank you for your commitment to conservation.
Thank you, Mr. Stokes. A short time ago in the plenary session, we saw 3 worthy recipients honoured with the prestigious Kenton Miller Award. The award recipients, Sukiento Laslee, Argus Buddy Utamo, and Yusap Chohayadeen, were awarded for their incredible work in the forest conservation in Indonesia. The three have nominated Argus Adi Utomo to speak on their behalf. Please welcome him to the stage.
Thank you. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to share again a little bit more about the innovation that is going on in Indonesia. You've had enough heard about presentations during the Congress, so I'm not going to have another presentation for you. Back in 2000, Indonesian rainforest was greatly suffered from deforestations and illegal logging. And there was even predictions that actually by year 2005, literally the lowland rainforest in Sumatra will be gone. At that time, it was only about not more than 600,000 hectares remain. So as a conservationist, we were so, in a way, frustrated with that situations. Something has to be done. But unfortunately, this type of lowland rainforest in Sumatra is not enough represented in our protected area network. So there should be a new way in conserving this lowland rainforest. It is not just for the biodiversity, but also for the ecosystem services provided, and as well as to meet the local people needs. So our organizations, Buruh Indonesia, asked to our government whether we could manage a production forest, but not for logging. That simple ask seems to be not that simple, because production forest is supposed to be to produce timber. But at the end, our government adopted that, received that ask. So in year 2004, Indonesian government has already put in place a new policy which allow production forest to be managed for ecosystem restoration. That is the first ever in our history in Indonesia. We go further, not just to ask for the government to put in place the policy. We further step in. We said to the government, we are going to be the first to manage this kind of forest for ecosystem restorations. And together with our partners, our BirdLife partner in the UK, SPB, and as well as the BirdLife International Partnership, now we are managing the first ever ecosystem restoration in Indonesia. It's about 90,000 hectares, which is the remaining of lowland and forest in Sumatra. It provides home for many of the species of globally threatened species, and it's also provide home to the indigenous people still living there, called the Batin Sembilan people. This is really just the beginning. We really need all the support we can get, because the operational challenge is so huge, enormous. So we really need all of the support that we can get. But we are also pleased to let you and to share you that there are already other organizations, companies in Indonesia who also do the same thing in Indonesia. Now there are 12 ecosystem restoration projects in Indonesia covering 500,000 hectares of lowland tropical rainforest. And even more, our government has allocated 2.7 million hectares to be managed for ecosystem restoration purposes. And this is outside the protected area network. It is not yet recognized as part of our protected area system, but it is contributing. It is complementary to the protected area system. What is lacking in Indonesia is really the category 6 of protected area. And we hope that the management of this ecosystem restoration concession would actually complement or filling that gap in Indonesia. I hope by sharing this story to you, will give Indonesia more positive image in terms of conserving our tropical rainforest. And it is actually the commitment of Indonesia to conserve the remaining tropical rainforest, especially in the lowland. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share this story with you. Thank you.
Thank you for your words on behalf of the 3 Kenton Miller Award recipients. The work you're doing is truly inspiring. Next, we have a very special speaker with an incredible story of strength and commitment in the face of enormous pressure. Jeffrey Lee is a traditional landowner and senior custodian of a parcel of land which was adjacent to the Kakadu National Park, a land of great cultural and ecological significance to Jeffrey Lee and his people. The land is also rich in uranium resources. Jeffrey spent more than a decade fighting to protect this land and from mining interests. He turned his back on millions of dollars he was being offered and even flew to Paris to put his case to UNESCO. His long battle ended in the protection of his land forever, internationally recognised as part of Kakadu National Park and World Heritage Area. Mr. Lee's selfless gift to us all, his tireless quest to protect the magnificent environment, serve as an inspiration to Australian people and people around the world. He has travelled here from the Northern Territory to share his story. Please make him welcome.
Thank you all, and I'd like to acknowledge the traditional honor of this land. I want to share my story to you all. Where I am here sitting on the edge of the escarpment, this is my country. It's in the park, Kakadu National Park. Now that I've been fighting for a very long time to put my country into the World Heritage Area, and now it's in the park. So I'd like to share you my story. This is Coonawarra, where is my homeland. This is where I grew up, and I've been walking around the escarpment area with my family and their family and my ancestors that showed me so many things that that was led to me to pass on to the next generation. As you see here, this is the border of the escarpment where Coonawarra lies. Why I am so significant of this country, because I'm the next generation that I need to pass on to the next generation, their generation, to continue to looking after and manage our land and our country. Coonawarra was a very long, hard battle for me as I was growing up. As I was growing up, I've seen so many things during my time. And now that I'm really happy that where I am now. And Coonawarra is not only for me and my family, but Coonawarra is for the whole world, people around the world to come and see and learn what Kakadu National Park and has joint management. The battle for me, for Coonawarra, as I was growing up, like I said, yeah, it was a time. It was a long battle, and as I was going, I didn't have much support, but association that were really close to me, that helped me guide for Coonawarra to be in the national park, and I fought, and I respect the association that that helped me for Gungara, and the support from people that around the world that supported me, that where Gungara is now. Those battles, it was it was a really yeah, it was a really battle for me because I didn't have any support. But as I was going along, I had support along the way. So battling those years, I got somewhere, and the support that I got was very huge. And yeah, I'd really like to thank those people that supported me in Kunagara. When I came back I went to Paris. I got a letter from the minister to invite me to go to Paris to the World Heritage Conference in Paris. And as I went to Paris, I took my nephew along with me. As you see here, my nephew and we went to Paris, and to get my story out there to the world and who I was as a traditional owner of Kunagara. And yeah, as I was in Paris, we was there for 4 weeks. But this is where my story came out when I was in Paris, and I shared my stories to the World Heritage, and I was trying to figure a way to incorporate my land into the national park. So when I went to UNESCO, and the World Heritage heard my voice, and as I was down there talking about my country to put it in the World Heritage where it is now, and that was very grateful for me and my nephew, and the support that I had from the association that supported me to go to Paris. As I was in Paris, first time I ever been to a World Heritage conference, and but I had to get my story out there to say that I'm a believer, and I really do respect my culture and my people and my land, and that way we manage our land on the country with joint management with Park Australia. So yeah, the message was very clear that I was very happy when I left Paris and I came back to Australia. So I had to go to Paris to fight for my country to put back into the park. Then when I came back from Paris, I had a great relief. I was really happy. You know, I was really happy. I couldn't stop talking about my country and where it is now in the national park, and I'm really happy today. Me and my family, and they really supported me too, my family as well. And when I came back from Paris, I got another letter from our environment minister from Canberra. And so I came back to Australia, and then I went straight to Canberra. And when I went to Canberra, Kunagara was in the parliament, and to get Kunagara included into the Kakadu National Park World Heritage. And as you see me here, I'm with three old Prime Minister here, and Minister Burke and Julia Gillard, and you see me on the left there is my sister, and on the right again I said me and my nephew when we came back from Paris, yeah, we went straight to Canberra, and I was very happy because then the minister included Kunungara into the park, and I was there, and I was right down at the front of the parliament when Kunungara was put into the World Heritage. Yeah. Kunungara is a very special place, significant and cultural aspect of Kunungara. We have thousands of people that go and visit a rock called Burungo and Nalanji Rock. And Kunungara is not too far, just around the corner of Nalanji Rock, where thousands of visitors come and visit. And Kunungara lies right near Burungo. When I came back for Kunungara, me and my family, we go out hunting, we go out fishing, we still do our traditional living on land even today. You know, we like to teach the next generation, the next younger one that you see here on this slide here, a couple of my little niece, nephew, and grandkids from my sisters and my brothers. And this is what I do when I go back. You know, we take the younger ones and learn them, and so that when they grow up, they can continue looking after the land, and they'll let that story that will pass on to them, and they younger ones, and they, you know, ongoing. And it's good that we educate them now, you know, and being out on bush, I like being out with the younger generation. Here, we've been, I'm a ranger too as well. I've been working ranger for probably 30 years now, and I'm still working today in Kaiguru National Park. And I work very close with a lot of younger generation. I like going at bush and being part with the younger generation now, girls and boys, and work out. I like looking after workout because it means so much to me, because my ancestors and their ancestors and the ancestors before them painted this paint on the rock, and it tells the story of the land and how we live on land, and how we manage the land, and how our ancestors been working that land for so many years, you know. And today I still carry that knowledge and understanding of this land. So these are some of the things that we do out in the bush, and that makes me really good. And being a ranger, and hopefully our next generation now, we getting them to be rangers too as well back in the community, and it's really good that yeah, we go out and do a lot of things out in the bush that we teach younger ones, you know. Push out and make things out in the bush, and getting them away and where they belong to the bush, and yeah, learning from the elders, and we still do that today. This is the thing, and I'd like to say, I'd like to thank the UNCFO and the World Heritage for me to talk about Kunungara and being here and to meeting a lot of people here, and then we all different culture here, we're all same, we're all there, and what we believe in, and you know, deeply to the next generation, that I feel really good that I'm here, and also meeting other people too as well, and yeah. And this is the message that I like to live with you. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee, for sharing your incredible story. Thank you. At the last World Parks Congress in South Africa, Nelson Mandela called upon the world to look for ways to inspire the next generation to experience nature and become advocates for its protection. Dwayne Fraser and Danielle Benavides are doing just that. Dwayne Fraser is a Woolgoora Gabba man from Magnetic Island in North Queensland and a shared custodian of the Great Barrier Reef. Please welcome on stage Dwayne Fraser.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to pay my respect to the Indigenous, the land that we're standing on here. I'm a North Queensland, Murray from North Queensland, place called Tully, and it's a reddish town. At the moment, for the last 6 months, it was just bone dry. Yeah. I'd like to thank that brother that gave a speech here. We're all fighting to get back to our country. The word I use is, I had a young fellow this morning doing an agenda for himself. He used the word country, which that didn't fit in my category. The country is the white man word. For me, we call it Nija. That's our home soil that we walk on every day through the years and months. The word is Nija. I'm totally glad to use that. Never is country. The Nija is the soil that we walk on, color of our skin. So that's me. Thank you.
I think it's an important symbol that although as young people we step up and move into leadership positions in our communities, that we do so in a respectful manner. And by doing that, Uncle Claude has rightfully spoken before me, and as should do in all traditions in terms of respecting our old people. I humbly acknowledge my presence here today on Wagile and Barramidal, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, of the Eora Nation. And I would like to, as my uncle has done, welcome you and acknowledge you in language. Unfortunately for my people, our language is scarce. I do not know my traditional language. This is from 200 years of dispossession and colonisation. I would like to acknowledge the elders of the land we stand on, for without their resilience, strength, wisdom and leadership, I and many others like me would not be where we are today. I would like to acknowledge our elders that are present, for without their continued resilience, strength, wisdom and leadership, we would still continue to struggle in our future. I also extend this acknowledgement to my brothers, sisters, uncles, aunties from all over the country and from abroad. I would particularly like to acknowledge my fellow countrymen, the traditional owners of the Great Barrier Reef and the coastlines that are adjacent. On my way to the hall this morning, I ran into our minister, Greg Hunt. He said to me, Dwayne, there's two things that could happen today. The firstly is you'll get on the stage, you'll freeze and it'll be a disaster.
I then said back to the minister, that's possible. The other one is I'll spend 3 minutes criticising government policy. However, we both agreed to a third option. The Great Barrier Reef is my traditional landscape. The reef, to me and my people, is far more than a natural wonder of the world. It is my midja. It is our provider. It sustains us, and it is under pressure. I cannot describe the enormous dread I have for my home. The scientific community say or estimate that this has a life of about 30 years if it continues on its decline. This is the impact of human neglect. I applaud IUCN and the Greater Congress for giving us this international pressure and bringing awareness to the issues we face in the Barrier Reef. I embrace the pressure from UNESCO on the Australian government to act. And I welcome the positive steps of the Australian government to take action. Collaborative management, a place where traditional owners, as recognised principal right holders in both cultural and Western law, lead the collaborative, ongoing, long-term, effective management of our traditional countries is a must, where governments, industries and Indigenous communities and the international community recognise our shared responsibility, where blackfellas living on country manage country. Let us, as a nation and members of the Pacific, lead the international community in best practice management between nations' traditional owners and their governments. It is my and many other young people of the Great Barrier Reef, it's our aspiration into the future to continually lead the involvement of our people in the management of our country. The cultural practices of our people are authentic, they are sustainable, and they are true conservation. Through the management of our country, in partnership, we will continue to maintain our connection to country, thus retaining our cultural knowledge, language, dance, and stories. On a personal level, I have been re-energised. The past 10 days, I have met amazing individuals doing amazing things. True conservation warriors from India, Canada, America, Peru, Africa, and so many more. This Congress has provided an international focus on the challenges we face in the Barrier Reef, and I thank you. As a young traditional owner of the Great Barrier Reef, and along with many others, we call on the international and Indigenous communities to support us and ensure the following three things take place. One, we ensure the protection of the cultural and natural integrity of the Great Barrier Reef. Two, that traditional owners lead the long-term, effective, collaborative management of our country. And three, we cease all large-scale development and extractive industries that threaten our country. In closing, I must thank the Minister for providing us with this opportunity today, as we did not have a voice from the GBR represented, and he has pushed IUCN and the department to make this happen. Thank you, Minister. I wish you all safe travels on your journey home.
Thank you. 4 years ago, Danielle Benavides founded Consciencia. It started out as a small environmental kids summer camp in a small Peruvian fishing village. It now has 20 teachers working with 400 students. This great initiative is fostering the next generation of conservationists. Please welcome Danielle.
Hello. Well, this has been an amazing week and we're almost at the end of it. And if you're anything like me, your brain is swimming with all these ideas and all these new solutions that we're gonna take back home and we're gonna save the planet. And so, but right now, I would like us all to come back to this present, to this moment. And so, if you'll indulge me, I'm gonna ask you guys to please close your eyes and take a deep breath. And with that breath, take in all the energy of all these amazing people around the room. And close your eyes and envision yourself in that protected area, in that place of nature that inspired you to be here today and to walk the path that brought you here. Imagine you're there and see the sights, smell the smells, hear the sounds.
From a distance, still got miles to go, making a difference. The orange river around 7 nations is present from pollution, green war. We know we have solutions, but actions speak louder than words. Oh, stop waiting till tomorrow. Oh, stop living yesterday. Cause there won't be tomorrow if we don't change today. Generation now, children of the future, earth revolution. Creation's crying out and I feel her pain. I can't walk away, so I will do my part to fix what's broken, give back what we've taken, hope for the dawn of a new day. Calling out to each and every person, join me in the revolution. I've walked this great land, used to be beautiful, used to be home. And I've seen the river run dry, now communities have no hope. And where are the tall ancient trees? They've replaced them with their concrete dreams. We gotta turn this around. We can fix it right now. Regeneration now. Children of the future. Earth revolution. Creation's crying out. I feel the pain. I can't walk away. I will do my part to fix what's broken. Give back what we've taken. Hope for the dawn of a new day. calling out to each and every person, join me in this revolution. I'm calling out to every generation, join me in Earth revolution. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Takaya Blaney from Sliaman Nation and Karina on guitar. She just took the words out of our mouth. How about this? Mamá, papá, voy a ser conservacionista. Mom, Dad, I'm going to be a conservationist. How many of us here have said these words? I can imagine pretty much all of us. And what has led us to utter these words and to walk this path? I believe it is empathy for other beings, for the nature's physical beauty, for our fellow children, men and women. We are all one, and we are all connected to nature and to each other. As the indigenous people of my native Peru, the Aboriginal traditional owners of this land, our friends who sailed in canoes to come here, an example of coherence, we must honor our natural world and ourselves as a part of it. We are the young, and we look to the older, to the ancient traditions of the world, to infuse their wisdom with our youthful energy and resourcefulness. We remember and honor you. But today, our connection to the natural world and each other is hurting, and we must revalue it. It is in the collective between youth and old, male and female, across ethnicities, that we will find, once again, our wholeness. Young people bring an unquantifiable energy and freshness of our convictions. We have skills. We are the most educated generation this world has seen. We are biologists, we're artists, we're poets, we are yogis, we're lawyers, we are custodians. We're already here, we're already working hard. We are interconnected and we operate in networks. We express ourselves in a myriad of ways. We are riding the wave of emerging world connectivity. We're making conservation sexy. We are critical and we have a voice. We may lack experience and we look at you for that, but we also are free from conventional paradigms. As Emerson advised us, do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. We are solution-oriented, and we see one of the biggest challenges in this capitalistic culture to really put conscientiousness into our votes, that every dollar we spend is a vote towards one type of production or another. My generation, I'm inspired. We are prepared to take up these challenges, not just by reacting, but by proposing new alternatives. Young people like myself are forming companies and initiatives that give and implement new solutions. 4 years ago, with very little resources and almost no qualifications, my friends and I founded an NGO, and leveraging only the power of technology and digital media, we have now involved over 100 young people of over 50 different specialties in our program. And we are designing a new way to be an NGO, to relate to each other, to share learning, and to tackle critical conservation issues of our country's most poor and environmentally vulnerable communities. Think about this. We must set up living frameworks that embrace youth. The generations that will come after us will be even more prepared, so that might mean even more potential could be lost. We need to break in the path for them to be able to connect with all of the conservation sector across demographies. Like Machado said, caminante no hay camino, se hace camino al andar. And because our message is our commitment to actions, the youth present at this Congress has collectively prepared a video that shows our commitment to actions that we will take forward to our country. And we invite you to participate. And if you see a commitment in a video that you agree with, that resonates with you and you will help us upkeep, Please stand up so we can see that. Thank you.
We are a collective. We act for nature. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Some of us are young, but we are not defined by our age, nor are we limited by it. We are people, just like you. We believe in our power and potential to be change makers. Together, we create the future we want. Join our pact. We commit to हामी आदिवासी जनजाति तथा परम्परागत संरक्षणहरूको साथमा छौँ. We commit to
We commit to 物事に単に対応するだけでなく自分から動きます。We commit to
participating at every level of decision making.
We commit to insieme ci impegniamo a creare il futuro che vogliamo.
We commit to getting people outside by breaking barriers.
We commit to
We commit to appuyons une économie fondée sur la conservation.
We commit to sostenerci a vicenda. We commit to cultivar nuestro ser interno para la sanación de la tierra.
We commit to
Reaching out to create new partnerships and alliances.
We commit to
En reconnaissant les limites de notre connaissance.
We commit to being the leaders of tomorrow. What do you commit to?
Stand up to oil, protect the plants and renew the soil. Who's gonna stand up and save the earth? Who's gonna say that she's had enough? Who's gonna take on the big machine? Who's gonna stand up and save the earth? This all starts with you and me. Draw the line, and we'll build one more pipeline. Crack it now, and save the water. Build a life for our sons and daughters. Who's gonna stand up and save the earth? Who's gonna say that she's had enough? Who's gonna take on the big machine? Who's gonna stand up and save the earth? This all starts with you and me. Down, down, save the river, starve the takers and feed the givers. Let's build it love and save the world, and the people know answer. this all starts with you and me.
Thank you very much to Jane McIntosh and Brett Brown for that beautiful performance. Sadly, the time has come to officially close the 2014 IUCN World Parks Congress. To do the honours, can I please welcome back to the stage the Director General of the IUCN, Julia Martin-Lefebvre. Thank you.
I should sing this or rap it, but I'm sure you'll want to join with me in thanking all those amazing people who've made this Congress what it has been, and I don't think anybody is going to walk out. So let me start by recognizing the Australian government and the New South Wales government, our hosts and our really close partners and friends. Thank you all very much. Thank you, Minister. Thank you. And then the Congress patrons and champions. Jessica is one of them, and I want to thank them also for their support to us. The International Steering Committee, which I had the pleasure and honor to co-chair for many months before, and the members of the National Steering Committee also from Australia. Then the stream and cross-cutting theme leaders. The Congress partners, and you see their logos. Where are they? No, I just see the logos here, and I only see myself. But there they are. That's much better. The Congress partners, existing and many new ones. I'm not going to read all those logos, but these have been real supporters without whom we couldn't have done any of this. And of course, the World Commission on Protected Areas, its fellow IUCN commissions, the IUCN membership, and all the staff who worked from Australia and from IUCN, who worked hard on making this event a great success. I think none of them have slept for weeks, but they still have that energy that I see in them every day. And then, of course, our wonderful volunteers. Please, could you give them a hand? There they are. Great. Thank you all. Thank you. Frankly, I have been to a lot of conferences, as you can imagine, but this group was constantly friendly, helpful, and just wonderful. And last but not least, the people of Australia, and particularly the Indigenous peoples and the youth, who were so welcoming and generous to us throughout this Congress. So thank you all very much. Merci, gracias, and now I have the honor to declare this 2014 IUCN World Parks Congress come to a close. Thank you very much.
So just quickly, what a great way to end a magnificent week. With the official part now over, onto the important part, you're all invited to a traditional Aussie send-off, a barbecue. Please make your way to the Howie lawn now. I wish you all safe travels as you travel home and look forward to seeing you at the 2024 World Parks Congress. Thank you.